you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Simmer down. Simmer down.
All right. What's up, guys? My name is Morgan.
I'm Austin.
I'm Garrett. We are FOMO. Welcome back to the second FOMO Friday. We're here with a very special guest today, Mr. Stoutty.
What's up, guys?
We're going to be going over our brand new track that just came out today, Set Fire. We want to go over a little bit just about how it came about, how we kind of met and stuff. So Austin, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so it was like 2 years ago, I think. I was in San Diego for like a little show I had, and we went to like the Borgor show, and you guys were playing, and I DM'd you guys, and then I saw you guys again like a year later with Crisley. You guys opened up for that show, and yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, we were just all hanging out backstage.
Had to make some fire.
Together.
And now we've birthed the Girth Squad is what we're calling ourselves now. So
yeah, we are formerly known as the Girth Squad.
That's crazy how it all works out. Like I just saw you guys, and now we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is when I had first moved up to LA. Stoutty hit me up, and then we kind of just got together. This track originally started off as like a 110.
Yeah, it's like 110 BPM, yeah.
Yeah, it started out at 110.
It was actually Tropical House at first, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Super troppy house. And then, no, we were trying to go for like a, I guess like mid-tempo kind of like harder trap song. And
like
then we like,
trap,
and then we sped it up to 128 and we're like, okay, it kind of smacks at 128.
Yeah,
and
then you sent me back the way for the project and it was 150. And I said, all right, let's
just
do it.
It always ends up back at 150 somehow.
100%.
Yeah, so we're just going to go over just everything from start to finish with this and show you guys.
Give you a full rundown.
What's good.
And this is the first single off of Stouty's World War XX EP, which will be
War
coming
20,
out over the next couple months. So this is the first single. Just came out today, so go check it out. We're going to run you through it.
Justin Bieber the fuck out of this song. Stream it in your sleep. And all that good stuff.
Play it while you're sleeping at a low volume.
Turn it at a very low volume and just stream the fuck out of it.
That was the weakest thing I've ever seen in a marketing campaign.
Okay, so this is just our break group right here. We'll just solo this for you guys. So yeah, just
nice little menacing
simple
ARP.
stuff. Yeah, we try to just get like a super kind of dark, ominous vibe here. So we got this synth ARP. This is just like something we did in like Omnisphere, and we just bounced it out for you guys. And it's just super simple stuff right there. Nothing on the channel, just bounced it out. Then we got Reese, just you know how these work. Yeah, we just put a little pitch glide on this just so it like swoops up from the bottom and
move it over a little bit more.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, so just like super simple stuff here. Yeah, just low pass on a saw, and then some multiband afterwards. We got this little synth bed thing. This is just the root note of the song, which is the song's in E minor. So this is just me
some nice
singing.
tension.
Yeah, this is just me singing in E.
Just Morgan while I squeeze his balls.
This is my super just. Yeah, no, this is probably just like a. I think it's just a string, or it's like a boys' choir, something like that. Yeah, so it just like glues the song together super nice. Yeah,
now it's the only thing I can hear, but it's one of those things you don't notice until you take the turn off. It adds a
something
lot.
You need.
Yeah,
lot of
pretty
atmosphere.
simple in the start there, and then we just got some cool effects. Effects are super important for just like filling out a mix. We got this cashmere little fire thing right here, just because the song's called Set Fire. Yeah, so this
see what you did there.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is just a little fire crackle.
You wouldn't understand. It's just one of those pure artist things.
Yeah. And we got just some sweeps. We got a excellent Rhythm Riot impact. Check that fucking pack out.
Shit,
super
big.
sick. Fat impacts.
Big impact from a
nice
big
impact.
pack.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, let's just give this a listen. Okay, a couple things to cover for that part. So to like this little tension thing, it's just like very super detuned notes right on top of each other, and they just like get louder over this phrase right here, just to like let the listener know that like something is about to happen. That's like kind of, it's like the detune like makes it super like scary sounding.
Yeah, I
so
like
that
it.
yeah. because we got this big break thing with like the crazy basses right here, so we wanted to make sure like you could tell something
Couldn't just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then we got this little neuro bass thing here, just with a wobble on it. This is from just like a splice sample with just this auto pan thing. And what the auto pan is doing is it's when you turn the rate off and automate the rate, it makes it go like slower to fast or however you automate it. So if we just
so instead of doing like 8th notes or 16th notes, it goes by hertz.
Yeah, so if you turn this to hertz right here, it'll make it so you could just like free range it. And we just have the entire thing opening up. So without it, it would be like this. Still pretty sick, but this adds like, yeah, it still adds.
Yeah,
adds
you
nice
filter
little
it in,
touch.
yeah.
And then just on this part, we got a little bit more effects just to drag your listener into the this big break part. And yeah, this is all just like super simple cashmere stuff. And I guess we could dive into this big break section. And kind of like the inspiration for this big break right here is just so like I feel like a lot of breakdowns are just like they have like the super like ominous vibe and stuff, but they don't really do anything that's like exciting in the whole
like
thing.
a lot of ambience and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So with our stuff, we kind of try to like do something interesting in the breakdown, just so
Like you know,
make it like
you know
it's not
something's
just,
coming.
Yeah, it's not just like
Yeah.
the road to the drop. There's something
Yeah.
that's actually kind of cool. that
yeah, we don't
grabs
want
your
people
attention.
skipping to the drops in 2020. Okay.
Yeah,
Facts.
it's the year of the breakdowns.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this first thing you hear we got is this screech sound. And let's see here. Open up the automation. I guess we got nothing going on there. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. Yeah, so it's just a simple, like, with anything like screechy textured, you were going to want to go with saws just because it has all the harmonics. And then the idea was just to detune it as much as possible, just to make it like super scary sounding, like a piercing kind of sound. And then the reverb filter, there, we'll do it. Yeah, the reverb filter kind of makes the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when you put the reverb filter on, it kind of like scrapes a bunch of weird like frequencies in the sound, so it makes it sound like even more screechy. Yeah. That's kind of like making the entire sound. And then just simple stuff with the multiband.
And
Kind of
there's just a little sync on the oscillator too as well, right?
Yeah, right here.
Just to make it even more high pitched.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing too complex there. Detune all the way up. That's what giving it like that super scary texture. And then yeah, just multiband right here. And then OTT over here just to bring it up, bring all the frequencies up, and then saturator just to make it loud and cut out the lows at the end. Okay, let's check out that big bass. It's a fat fucker.
It's nice.
Okay, so this originally is here. Let's group these real quick.
Did we have this originally when we first started, or?
I forget how this idea came about. I think I'm not. Yeah,
I think
the screech was in there. It was more empty. I don't think it was
Yeah.
contrasting with the
Yeah.
bass like how it is now.
Yeah. So originally, so the cool thing we did with this is we used the FM within the sampler here. So without this FM, this is what it sounds like. So it's just you can see right here. It's just this big silent bass sustain style. And then when you turn on, so this little pitch oscillator thing right here in the sampler lets you do FM or AM. So if you turn this on, you have all these options to, here, let's open up the automation right here. You have all these options to do FM to whatever sample you put in. And we just did this is where you choose like all the parameters of it. So we have the sine FM going in, and this is like the level of it. And then the frequency is like the ratio. So this would like be, without this fixed knob on, it'll be in, this is kind of like octaves within Serum. So if you were to go 0.5 is like an octave below, and then so like every time you go up, it'll be an octave. And the way FM works, you have to double it every time for it to be an octave if you're using this mode. So 2 is 1 octave, and then 4 is the next octave, and then you have to go 16. You have to like,
it's
like
different from like
exponential.
your Serum FM.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we kind of just mix it into taste with the sine thing. Yeah. So, yeah, just do what sounds good here. And
That's
then
nice.
it's important to make sure, so this, I'm pretty sure, starts all the way down like this. So it would only do like a quick attack thing with the FM, but you want to bring it all the way up. And you could do it with all this ADSR stuff over here. but it's just easier to do it if you can see it. Yeah, so the FM just makes it like super warbly sounding and just different. And yeah, it's just the same. It's just the root note all the way through this entire thing. It sounds a little different.
Yeah, I think.
We had that alarm in the back.
Reverb on the whole time?
Ooh, what do we do?
We fucked something up.
Yeah.
Auto pan?
What did you do, dude?
I think the auto pan is
idea.
supposed to be up.
Oh, wasn't that? Okay, well, we know what that sounded like beforehand. Yeah.
Command Z, dude.
Okay. And then, yeah, so we kind of just set it up so we have the repetition here. It happens 4 times in a row. And then we have the these alarms in the background just to add some more scariness to the vibe. And then we have this little fill bass, this big like neuro thing happening right here, which I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is just like a neuro sample we found on Splice. Just distort the shit out of it with saturator, and then I think this is just stereo width, or it's nothing. Sweet. Yeah, so we just saturated this and it just sounds fat in the mix, so we just left it. Yeah. Yeah, a couple notes for the build. We just have like this big bass loop just to like let you know that shit's about to go down. Yeah, so all together without all the processing. Super like dull sounding,
Yeah.
but if you add this erosion to pretty much like any bass sound, it'll make it like super come to life in the mix, and it'll add like a
Yeah.
nice top end, so you could just like make it out in the mix super well. And then the this redux adds like the super like erosiony sign type high end. So like all this stuff in the high end, that's all what the redux is doing. And all this like EQ stuff is just to taste. So like we're just listening for like we're trying to make like any type of bass sound we're trying to make as full as possible in the mix. So we'll just like EQ the shit out of it just to make sure it takes up the whole frequency range that we want it to. And then yeah, over the build it just we take out some of the lows because we got the kick and stuff going. And a couple other things, we got this this clock actually adds a lot of tension too.
Ooh,
So just
I like this a lot. I like the
Yeah.
clock a lot.
so this is just a cashmere clock, and it just adds like
Just keeps the momentum
yeah, it
going.
keeps a bunch of motion in the song, so it's just you can hear it in the background. Yeah. And then for the effects in the build, just some simple stuff. We kind of just try to stack stuff on top of each other with the effects until it sounds full, and then if it's too much, then we'll just dial it back. Yeah, so just like simple up sweeps, and then yeah, just like doing stuff to taste here. Nothing too crazy. And now we're gonna have Garrett take us over the drums.
Yes, sir.
Pass over the sticks.
Pass me the sticks, brother. All right, the mic's in a little bit of a weird spot for me to do this here. All right, so the drums are pretty straightforward. I'll go over some quick stuff to note here. We didn't get like too complicated with any rhythms or anything. Let's see. So the kick is just it was probably, is this resampled from?
I think we made that in Kick 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so Kick 2 is a super like it's a kick plugin, obviously. It's super easy to use. If you honestly, if you just take apart the presets and stuff and just try to make a couple of kicks on your own, within a couple of days you can make some of the most fire sounding kicks just with that plugin.
Nice.
Yeah,
Fire
so we'll
kicks,
just
might
like
have to go over that in another video.
yeah.
So this was just bounced out and then put into a sampler. And then, so the snare, we got pretty creative with the layering here. I'll just play the drum.
Yeah, just solo.
Soloed out here. So we got a couple different things going on. The main one is just I think it's from a
yeah, it's
Remedy.
it's the Remedy 11.
It's the classic
yeah.
Remedy snare.
Just like super shortened just to make
The
it like
best
super
snare
Yeah, so
out
that's
there.
mostly like the transient. And then we often like to layer like a metallic layer on here. So we use this pipe one. What's this from?
It's from the old Move Back remix that we did that
Okay,
we never
yeah,
put out.
so-
Yeah.
I don't know what the original sample was, but it was rebounded.
Yeah, we just typed in pipe to the
Yeah.
yeah.
So like that sounds like absolute shit right there, but layered, it adds like this nice metallic tone on the top. Like you wouldn't even notice.
I like that.
Yeah, and then just a little noise to add a little more transient.
And the pipe is in key too, so we just kind of
It's
like
tuned, yeah, because it's super tonal, so you want to make sure it's in.
yeah, we just look at that first frequency on the EQ.
Yeah, you can just check.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's that. And then let's see. I'll show you guys some of the stuff we did with the fills here. So I'm not sure if we've gone over in some previous videos, but we like to do a lot of combining for drum fills. So we'll just have like a folder of all of our fills, and we'll go through and kind of just see what works together, like in terms of like timbre and stuff like that, what would fit together. So let's see. This first one's just a tom sample.
Oh, that's a cool note about this little like tom thing that we did. So every time you get like a fire drum pack or something, just like take certain types of the drums that are in the pack and just put them all into a drum rack and save it, which is what we did.
Because you can literally just like go through.
Yeah.
And just be like, okay, what key is this song? So you can do by key or just like, so you can just pick between, so you have 20 different toms that you can choose from, and you just draw on the MIDI and you can just shuffle through and find the best one. So we have this one in key. So that's that fill, and then this one is cool.
It's like all four of those tracks.
Let's see. Cool. Oh yeah, there's a wub in there, a little sword, trap roll, and then a
solo
snare.
those out for them so they could hear what's going on.
Little wub. This one's really cool because it brings like, it's almost like an effect suite mixed with like some tonal shit. Classic little trap fill, and then just a snare with a little swish. So we have a few different like things carrying the energy forward as well.
Yeah, and like what we'll do for like fill type stuff is we'll just spend like time on Splice or just wherever you get samples, and just spend like an hour just like getting a bunch of fills and like maybe categorize them by genre or something. So what we'll do is we'll just have like a big folder of these, and then we'll kind of just combine them all together until something sounds fire.
Yeah, just to make them unique. Because I mean,
Exactly.
you could, I mean, obviously you could just throw in like a classic fill that you found on Splice, but I think it's really,
You want to be like different.
you want to be different.
Yeah,
like anyone could do that. So we like to combine them, and like these are like literally like all playing at the same
Because
time. So
people
they're
could think
layered.
that's just like one fill, but it's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also they're just like samples. So
Yeah,
you can,
exactly.
You can get creative with sample use, like in. So that's what it ended up being.
Yeah.
Really dope fill. And then what else we got in here? Same thing there. What's this one? Is this the? That's the tom. Cool. Yeah. The
You
drums.
can show them the cymbals and stuff in the second part of the drop.
Second part of the drop.
Yeah, no, you just gotta zoom out more.
Yeah,
they're lower.
I'm kind of far from the screen, so it's hard for me to see.
To the left more. You're in drop 3. There you go.
There we go.
And then go to cymbals in the orange all the way at the bottom.
There we go. Jesus.
There it is.
All right. Just gonna slow this up again. So just a little ride to carry the energy. Nothing too fancy, and there's not really much processing on a lot of these. Most of our like process with drums is just like sample choice.
Yeah, pick a good drum.
Yeah, it's
Facts.
that simple.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know I don't know why this is on everything. It's not doing anything. Cool. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for the drums.
And
Anything else you think I should go over there?
Yeah, there's a cool little trick we did with the hats. Open that up back again.
Yeah, those hats are nice.
Yeah, so if you look, there's the hat right and hat left. So what we did is we did pick 2 different samples and panned them completely left and right. So they together they make like a more full and wide hat at the same time.
Well said, Morgan.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then I'll just go over the sub design real quick, and then we'll have Austin here go over the drop synths.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So in the first drop, we just have like the fundamental E note playing. Like the saturator's not even doing anything.
Yeah, this is Stoutty sent this over as a stem. So like
Was this hip hop sub or Serum? What was this from?
I think
looks
it's
like
just
it was
those-
kind of hip hoppy.
I honestly don't remember.
Sounds hip hoppy.
Yeah, I think it was. I think
Honestly,
we
hip hop.
had.
I think it's so slept on that sub. That
So yeah, there's
Ableton gives you.
definitely a little bit of like there's a little more harmonics than just a classic sine wave. I think it's probably
Yeah, you could.
sounds like a hip hop sub.
Yeah, you could get this pretty much by just using a saturator on a sine with the hard curve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that for the first drop, and then in the second drop, we layered in this second layer. So it sounds like this.
I like what you guys did.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
Let him hear this drop.
Oh, we haven't played this.
Yeah.
Yet.
super gnarly.
Yeah,
Banger.
So we just, for this part, we just high cut the lower sub and then added another layer on top, which we low cut. And then we added trash, a little saturator, and some erosion on there. That's what it sounds like without. Just a classic,
and this one,
just the hip hop sub, like just fundamental frequency.
And what we say when we say hip hop sub, we mean like so there's an operator instrument that's called hip hop sub, and we just bounced out a long audio section of it, and then we just have that saved in our like project template. So we just
always have a go-to sub. Cool. So this is, I'll turn these off real quick and just show you what we did here. It sounds like super distorted and gnarly on its own, but in the mix it sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's really present. Cool. So this is just this is our classic, our boy.
Nasty boy.
Nasty
This is
boy.
the nasty boy.
This is the FOMO secret preset on trash.
Move that over.
Oh, whoops. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So we just we often just flick through presets on trash when we're looking for proper distortion. So that gets some really nice presence and crunch, and then we just blast the shit out of it with this saturator at 21 dB, and then add a little erosion in noise mode to give it some more presence in the upper frequencies. Cool.
Girthy.
And then it's all low cut, and then we put this here to bring out that like third harmonic. And that's about it for the sub and drums, Mr. Stout. Would you like
Sexy
to
drums,
bring us through some drop synths?
Let's see here. I never use a mouse, so bear with me, please. Is it right here?
Yep.
Let's see. I gotta go.
So we got a couple different things going on. At the
I never work like this, so I apologize.
It's all good.
Let's mute. Let's go right here. So I have this one shot. Where's it at?
It's just a yo, yeah.
This one, yeah. So let's see without everything. So it's kind of it's pretty basic, yeah. So let's go through. So my go-to honestly is Yo Man. I love Yo Man a lot. I use it a lot. Just gives it like
instantly sounds so much
better. You could do so much with it with your dry wet and your feedback. You could just like if you take it way up here, you could just make it disgusting. You don't you just gotta play with it and how you like it. What I do.
Feedback is cranked.
There it is. See what we haven't.
And this chorus preset is actually super.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
Because when I tell people about it,
it's not showing up now. What? Something's up with the Serum FX that when we try to open it,
I just had distortion on it, and I think I had. What else did it have?
No,
on
it was
distortion
just,
and then
it was
a
just
chorus.
Compressor. It was just a compressor and chorus. Yeah.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird. Yeah. Well, dang. Did you guys add the OTT?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we just pulled up. That's just stock OTT and just pulled up the highs, and then the dry wet is down.
Saturated, make it a little louder. EQ'd it.
Yeah, that's
so
good
yeah.
right
So
there. When the other synth comes in, we have a notch pulling the primary frequencies from the other sound out of this one.
Yeah. So honestly, like Yo Man's doing the most work on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
So
was a
make
cool
it
chorus
just-
thing on there, but
Serum just it's just being a Serum does
And
that.
a cool note with this like little rack is to just like a good thing to do on your non-writing sessions is to just like make racks that make sound good, just so you could like slap them on things, because you could as you can see, like it's just a one shot, but when you put all this juicy stuff on it,
Yeah, because like no one would ever think that we got it from that
it
sound.
sounds dry as fuck. Yeah.
It's just super basic. And then we later with the sustain right here we have. So let's see.
What is that from?
I think it's a sample I have.
Why is this not working?
I don't know. Serum FX is fucking up.
Well, all right. Well, let's see.
It was super minor, whatever it is.
We have Yo Man on this too, right? Yeah. I think Yo Man does most work on this. Yeah, Yo Man just gives it that like more like girthy sound, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it just makes it more in your face. And we have auto panned.
Yeah, that's good.
Jeez, yeah. How do you do it? I never
Hit the red arrow in the top middle.
What are we looking at here?
For the automation, is that what you're trying to get?
Well, I just want to see how we have it. Yeah, we didn't pan it. We didn't do automation with it.
No, it's just like the eighth note
Yeah.
webbing pattern with it.
So yeah, we don't really have any fills either. It just comes in kind of together. Let's see right here. I don't use 10 at all either. Jeez, there we go.
Yeah, so it sounds super full when you have both.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
honestly,
weird.
like my trick is Yo Man. I use it like, I feel like really like no one knows about it because I'll tell the producers and they really don't know anything about it, but I feel like it does so much. Obviously, like
Yeah, a
I
lot
know-
of dubstep guys use it.
I
but
know
for
a lot
like,
of people don't like it because it just makes the sound just I don't know.
It can give it
You
like a
gotta-
really weird quality, but if you
gotta,
dial it in,
yeah,
right,
you gotta
sounds
make it
really
work.
cool.
You can't just like go full on and
Slap
make
it on
it
there.
disgusting sound. What else do we have here? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this drop, right? We don't have. we have a s-
hit the automation arrow in the top.
The red thing at the very top in the middle. There you go.
And then, yeah,
We have a
Just some
siren.
white noise layered on top for
Yeah.
some more presence. And then a siren in the back.
We have it. You don't have it. Yeah, so you can never go wrong with siren. Honestly,
yeah.
I feel
Classic
like
trap
everyone
siren.
does it. Yeah,
I
just
think we have that in every drop.
That exact one.
just use it right. What else do we have here? There's some white noise right here.
Yeah, and that's just split.
You guys
Left,
had,
right?
yeah, you guys did this, I think.
Yeah, just to give it some more width.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's honestly not like I feel like there's not too much going on. We have
Yeah.
one shot and then we have a sustain, and you have some white noise. And honestly, Yo Man's doing most of the work. And when you put it together, it's you know, how we went over the bass, the right bass line, the right like grid of it. And yeah, then the second drop, you did it. You want to take over because
Yeah.
you added that one sound on top.
Sweet, let's check it out. And just one quick note with like kind of how we work with when doing like bass stuff like this is you can see like we have in this drop group like what is there like 25 different sounds, but we're only using like 5 of them. Yeah.
Like the main sounds are like the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So when we're doing like super experimental stuff, what we'll do is we'll just like duplicate out a drop section like 4 times over and just get like this is like off to the right of the arrangement, and we'll just like try to get super creative with like how we arrange the sounds just so we
Yeah.
can make sure we get like the coolest sounding bass phrasing. So like we'll have like you can see over here. I think we deleted some of the sounds, so they'll probably
5
all
different
sound
drops.
like shit. Yeah, so we kind of like we're just trying a bunch of different ideas, and this what a lot of people do is they'll like make versions of projects, but
Yeah.
that makes it so you have to open up like 5 different versions
Yeah,
just to
just
see
So
what
you
try
it's
just have
working.
like a
Try a million
20-minute
things.
long song.
Yeah.
Yeah, just duplicate your shit over here, and
Just
then
try a
just-
million things and you
yeah,
never
just-
know. Like,
yeah.
don't be satisfied with the first thing.
Yeah,
Or that could
it's-
be cool. You could come back
it's-
to it, but just always
It's pretty
try.
rare when the first idea is your best idea.
Yeah.
We
Honestly,
usually
yeah.
even if we think it's really good, we'll like let it sit and come back and try to rework it. Whether that's like trying to do a second drop, and then sometimes we're like, oh,
It's like-
that drop sounds way better.
Like
so
4
make that
a.m.
the
you're
first
making
drop
a
and
song.
then-
and-
Yeah, if you haven't
Yeah.
tried 5 different versions, it's probably not the best.
it's probably not your best work.
Yeah. Okay, this is the second drop right here. All right, so super gnarly.
Yeah, I like that.
So this is just that same sound from the first drop, but with the auto pan going faster. And then I believe there's some like subtractive EQ on it. No, that's just quieter. And then we got this big Gatling gun sound.
This
Yeah, so this sound.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was like when I made this sound, it was like kind of around the time when we were just like throwing just random shit in the trash. So I'm pretty sure this is just gonna be a sine wave.
You gotta be kidding me, dude.
Yeah. So this is just like
That's amazing.
pretty much just a sine wave with like some
A little
simple
FM.
FMs. Yeah. Some of the thought process was just do the most simple FM type sound and just distort the shit out of it and see what happens. Yeah, so this is, okay, so yeah, it's just some simple FM. This is just like another sine type sound, and you can see we just got this one LFO doing pretty much everything. Yeah, these are pretty much the same LFO. And then we got some tonal delay, which if you don't know how to set that up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to link or not link if you want to make it a little weirder, and then turn off the BPM thing, and then drag the time down below 20 milliseconds, and it'll be a tonal delay. And then you can mess around with the feedback and stuff. So let's see what that sounds like. You can kind of hear what everything's doing. Let's see. Yeah, so it makes it like a little bit more metallic.
be a cool drop.
These are all like super slight things. This is just a little bit of space. Let's see the LFO. Yeah, just like mixing in some space on it. And this is like an important note with this EQ is like you see like a lot of mixing tutorials about like how you should do things like super slightly or just like cut things or boost things by like a couple dB. But when you're sound designing, all those rules don't exist. This is what, like a 10 dB spike on the high end, right?
Yeah.
When you're sound designing, there's no rules. You just do whatever sounds good.
100%. There's no rules to making music. It's just.
And then we got a low pass that's just adding more movement to it, and then a multiband just beefing it up. So then from there, and we're gonna give away some of this stuff at the end.
FOMO fat rack.
This is this is
That's what I
nothing
like
like
to see.
Yeah, this is nothing like too crazy. This is pretty much just like
It looks intense.
yeah, an OT. So we got. I mean, we're not using this.
Yeah, some of the stuff's off. This is just something we'll like try on sounds.
But like
we
a
haven't
cool
really
note-
used this one in a while.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is an old one, but like you'll see like how we just had the Camel Crusher on there. Like what we'll do is we'll have a rack. We'll make racks with like 20 different things on that we know can make a sound cool, and then we'll just like try turning them on and off when we're sound designing, just because we know that they can make it sound cool. So just like going through plugins and knowing what can make a sound good, and then like putting them together is just like
Trial
a
and
good
error.
practice. So like this is another
Yeah, honestly, trial and error.
yeah, compressed room reverb, so we're not using that. And then, okay, so let's go. Right here, mid-side OTT, not using. Yeah, so this this trash thing, this is just like another preset thing we're just looking through, but the big thing here is this convolution reverb. So this is just the.
You gotta move it over a little bit.
Oh yeah. So if you go in this convolution reverb is just like a short, for anybody that doesn't know what it is, it's just like a super short reverb based on an input signal from a sample. So if anything with reverb on it, you could put it into a convolution reverb and it'll try to replicate that signal into the plugin and then like recreate it. So these are just presets, so it's whatever like they had put in before. This is like the wide dirt preset. And then it makes it just like the weirdest sound ever. It sounds like it's in like
That's
weird.
super sick.
Yeah, sounds just.
Gives it some really cool space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think we kind of worked backwards with this. So we saturated. We did this all first, and then because we kind of like what we said earlier, we like to work with racks. So we'll have a rack, and we'll just like duplicate out like 20 different channels and just try presets with just like one rack on all of them.
Okay.
Because we know the rack can make something sound good, but it's just the input signal that we want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
So this probably started out as just the OTT and EQ and all that. Yeah, just so all this stuff makes it fit in the mix, and then like we just want to mess around with stuff beforehand, make it cool. So without the OTT or without the trash,
There's a lot.
Yeah. And then this was on, yeah. So and then this LFO tool is just making it follow the rhythm again, because the convolution reverb kind of like smears things in time. So it will make it like off beat and out of time. So that the LFO tool just makes it so it's the 16th
Just
note pattern.
reshapes it.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it for that. Simple OTT stuff, just cool thing to do. You'll probably seen this on the channel a lot, is just to drag these up, or doing this is also a good trick. Yeah, that's all pretty standard. Oh yeah, so this noise trick right here, we kind of try to add noise under almost every sound, just because it just adds like another layer of the sound.
Just
that's
a white noise, yeah.
Yeah, we mix it into where you really can't even hear it in the mix, but like
Yeah.
when you take it away, you can tell.
You can tell, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want it there.
And can you guys not hear this one?
No, because I think it's in.
Oh, you could hear that one.
They can
right?
hear it in that, but we can't hear it.
Yeah.
in
So
that.
we just, I guess, is this the same thing, just split 2 ways? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, one's a different sample. So
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
two
Okay. Yeah. So if you were to do the same thing and split it left, right, it wouldn't do anything. A lot of people say that does something, but it's really just having the same signal happening twice. But yeah, so we have different samples here though. So this is just adding more like presence to the noise. And then on the group we have, so this peak is giving it that like ah tone, which is like ba 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 kind of.
Makes it a little more
really
vocal.
sick.
Yeah. Instead of just like a flat signal.
Yeah, so it's like the ah, and then the auto pan just to make it match the rhythm of the Gatling gun thing.
Gatling gun.
Yeah.
we should
Yeah.
change the title right now.
And then like another cool trick we did was just have a bunch of sweeps just going into like every new phrase or just the snares in this case. So it's just like
It's like the little details, you know.
yeah. Yeah, so without it yeah, just like
Just
drags,
a nice push and
yeah.
pull of the energy.
Yeah.
And then when we have like this turnaround little fill here, yeah, just dragging into every different phrase. Let's see. More sweeps down here. I think we got even more sweeps, I guess. Yeah,
Can't get
effects
enough
can add a
sweeps.
lot of motion to your drop, so make sure to get creative with those.
Facts.
Oh, these bass stabs. Yeah. So this is also just a sample with a bunch of distortion on it. Let's see. What did I just do?
I don't know.
Just Command Z.
Yeah, so super dark on its own, but if you just this is why it's important to make racks like this because you
Shout
could
out
probably
Erosion. Erosion's
yeah,
amazing.
Erosion's the plugin
Yeah.
of 2019, I swear. Yeah, so like, you could probably put this on any bass sound and probably make it sound fire. So just like having
100%.
stuff like this is super important. And another yoink right here. This is also just a sample. It's important to gather samples just because like if you got to sit there and design everything, it can be tedious. I mean, it's good to practice your sound design, but just like having good samples.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
everyone thinks that they use samples. It's like they're not doing the right thing. But
Yeah.
like all these big artists that people look up to, they're using samples most of the
Yeah.
time. It's like it's what you like,
Just
just what you do with
them.
the sample.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Like if like this is a sample right here, but if we were to just have this sound be there, that sounds like shit. So.
Yeah.
And I guess a good note on this one is just this reverb thrower thing that we made. And okay. So basically the science here is to not have to make this is like a parallel chain, so it's the same as a return. And it's just the reverb is all the way wet right here. So we could automate let's pull up the so what we did here is we have the reverb all the way wet, and then we have a volume shaper at the end. So we could mix in it. We could we
Mix in
could
the wet signal.
swoop up the wet signal when we want to. So this is just like a better version of a reverb throw, and it's just like super wide, and we have it so we could like change the parameters and stuff of it.
Yeah, and it also doesn't wash out the original
Yep.
signal as you're ramping
Yeah.
it up. It just duplicates it.
Yeah, and this this volume shaper thing is just if you just group a utility or something and then delete it, you could just have this channel thing or this volume knob right here, and then it's just mapped over here.
I like all the fills you guys use in your drops.
Yeah.
Like, it's very creative. It's,
Yeah,
I like
we
it.
try to have as many sounds as we can without
Yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah.
without-
Without going overboard.
Yeah. And then this low layer is just I think this EQ is the only thing that's different. So we
Yeah,
kind of
it's
just
moved.
yeah, if you have like a big peak like this, it'll make it just sound like more of a bass sound. It'll give it like more character. So we just move this down, I believe, and then it just makes it sound lower in the mix for like a B section. Yeah,
You're
so
basically just moving the fundamental frequency yourself, so it makes it sound lower, but it's actually just the
or did we pitch this one? It's just a little tinkered with.
yeah
Okay.
same sound.
Let's see. And then again, just at the like last 8 bars of every section of the drop, we bring back in the vocal just to like tie everything back together. And you did like pretty cool thing with the vocal. So this is a Fabian Mazur vocal, but you put the
Vocoder.
yeah the vocoder noise. So if you pull in a vocoder and just put it on noise right here,
It
it
just
adds
gives
like
it like that like dark.
yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
it
like
sounds like
Satan.
a-
It
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
sounds like
the
Satan.
devil.
Yeah, it sounds
Because it's
like
just some
Satan.
splice, so you want to make it somewhat different, you know, because
Yeah.
anyone
Yeah.
could get that vocal.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah.
And another cool trick that you could do, like if you're gonna use splice vocals, try to like combine them and stuff, or just get
Yeah.
creative with the
Yeah,
processing,
yep,
just so
yep.
like they don't, because when you hear like one a couple times over, you're just like, oh shit, or just do them yourself. Okay, let's see. What else we got? sweet.
when they sent me back this track, when I first heard that, I was like, damn. I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
We went full hard
I was
trap
like,
on the
yo.
third drum.
So
It's like hard trap, but the way you guys like structured it.
Yeah,
I
the
was
rhythm's
like,
super
yo,
weird
this is
actually.
So
the
sick.
kick comes in on like
Yeah.
the
I was
3, I think.
super
yeah,
hyped
so
on this.
most of like the hard trap stuff, it always comes in like the 4 or the next 2.
Yeah,
I was just
exactly.
like,
Like a
fuck it, we're
snare,
having
then a
it.
vocal,
Yeah.
then
Yeah, we
yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to
yeah.
make
Like catch you by surprise that it
Exactly.
happens.
It comes out
exactly.
of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, I was
And this is
stoked.
just the first sample, just without the auto pan.
Yeah,
on it,
it's
so
just
just
sustained.
yeah, it sounds
Yeah, no, I
horrifying.
found out
Yeah.
like 10 minutes ago that was the same sample.
Yeah. And other than that, I think like all the flow and stuff is all the
Yeah, it's
same
all
in
the
this
same, yeah.
drop. Yeah.
We combined it like the first and the second drop.
Yeah,
into the
pretty much
third
just
drop.
combined
yeah,
it, yeah. So you have that little like one shot in the beginning to
Yeah,
make you think it's gonna
exactly.
be like the first drop, and then it
Yeah.
just fucking slams.
Yeah. Shit in your face.
Precisely.
Okay. I think this is this. Yeah. Wait.
Do you want to go over or just briefly the master process for this one?
Oh yeah. So we did switch out. We usually use isotope, but this computer doesn't have it, so we like switched out a bunch of stuff. But like this can be as simple as like your mastering chain needs to be.
Yep.
So yeah, so what we try to do is to just make everything sound like every sound is just massive on its own. Like usually you see people putting OTT on their master, but like they
Like
don't
10,
really
Yeah.
like back in the day, like they wouldn't have OTT on their sounds, but they'd have like one big one on their master and have like a sausage fattener just make everything loud. But like the way things like work now, it's just like you try to make your basses as massive as possible.
Yeah, just super specific to our process. Like
Yeah.
we compress everything so much on its own and like within the group that like compressing it again at the end it would lose even more dynamics.
Yeah.
So this is typically what our master would look like.
Yeah, so we just make sure the mix is super loud, and then
I think
Yeah,
it's-
it all depends on your mixing.
Yeah, I think
process
the
for sure.
mixing, like people worry about the master and to get super loud, but it's how you mix your track.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah. So yeah, we just scooped out stuff that you can't really hear, but that can muddy a mix. So anything below 20, you can't really, obviously you can't hear it, but you can't really feel it either. So it's just like low rumble mud. And then everything up here that's over 20K, you literally can't hear it. So just scoop that out. And then digital clip just to make sure. So it's kind of weird how the limiter works. The Ableton limiter is kind of shit for making things loud. So so if we listen to it like this and with the saturator before, it's like way louder if you digitally clip it first. So, but you need the limiter on to make sure the signal doesn't come out. Like, so if you resample it, you'll see without the limiter that the signal's like completely messed up. So I don't know if it's like bad to have it that way, but it's just,
This is just what worked for this
yeah.
track.
So
Yeah.
if we just put the limiter on the end to make sure like
This
it
actually
doesn't-
isn't even what we had on here. We just did this
yeah,
for the video.
but this is like a simple way to like
Yeah.
master your track just to make sure everything's chilling. But like just having a soft clip or a digital clip before the limiter, make sure that the limiter doesn't just smash everything down, because you could hear that like everything's got super quiet when the limiter was like working super
by
hard.
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, we got anything else?
We just repeated the breakdown, right? And the
Yeah, breakdown.
Yeah, the breakdown's a little
There's a
different.
little edit.
I think
in
the bass sounds
the
just
bass.
different.
Yeah, the bass is all fucked up.
Oh, that's why it got messed up. Is because we changed the FM amount in the second part. Sounds like Dookie. That sounds sick. See, that's
Yeah, that was on
that-
accident.
that
but
is
that actually
sick.
sounds.
so that's the automation that was
the
missed, that we
accidents
messed up.
happen a lot, and like
Yeah, so if this is the pitch of the FM, and this is how it kind of sounded before. We just messed it up when we were messing around with it earlier. But as you can see, like if you mess with this, it sounds super sick. Yeah, that's super
Terrifying.
sick. I think
Yeah,
it's
it was
closer
more
to
like that, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, that's about it for this one. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that does it.
Oh yeah, we got some plugs for y'all. Yeah, so we're gonna give away the this lead rack.
Courtesy of Mr. Stouty.
Yeah.
He's giving you his super exclusive premium
So,
rack.
Yeah, we're gonna give away this lead rack so you could put samples in it and make them
shout
sound
out
fire.
Yo Man one time.
Yeah, and then we're going to give away that screech sample or
From
not
the
sample,
break?
the screech preset right here, and the rack to go with it.
So that'll all be in the description.
Yeah, just grab that below. Let's see what else we got. This track came out today, so stream the fuck out of it.
Go peep.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
And it's part of Mr. Stouty's brand new EP, which is going to be
it's
coming out in the next
like 3
rolling
months,
out over the next
yeah.
couple months.
Yeah.
Kind of scattered all
And-
over.
yeah, I think that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification bell.
Smash it.
Yes,
Let
sir.
us know what other type of stuff you want us to do, because we're going to keep these FOMO Fridays going. Let us know if you want us to bring in on other people.
And go check out
Yeah.
MID-TEMP for some fire presets.
Yeah.
And they're not. You don't need to use them only with mid-tempo songs. I mean, we could throw some fire
Yeah.
ones into a trap song. They're just beefy.
I that's dope too. How I think people like you don't have to if it's like a mid temp, you don't have to use it for mid temp, like you said.
Yeah,
like,
you can use it in
Yeah.
anything. You can
use
use it in
any
house.
sound.
You could use it in
like
dubstep,
do
you can
like
use it in
the
trap.
house sounds people are using for like dub tracks now. It's
Yeah.
like you could do whatever you want with the sound.
Absolutely.
And we're just going to play it out one last time for the outro.